Now, I'm not sure what to think of this. These are little bits of bees that have been pecked to pieces or something. I'm using these mouse guards for the first time instead of using 1/4-inch mesh to keep shrews out. The width of these holes are about 1/4 of an inch. I think it's about 6 millimeters. But the height is about almost 1/2 an inch. It's 3/8 of an inch. And if it was a 3/8 of an inch square, I'm sure that shrews would be able to get in, but because it's 6 millimeters wide or 1/4 of an inch wide, I don't think it's a problem. But finding bits of bees, look, that's a head right there. That's the head of a bee. That's another head right there. So these are bee parts. Something's pulling them apart, but I think it just might be chickadees or juncos, little tiny birds, getting in and just eating the dead bees in front of the hive. That being said, nice expression. If you look at the side of this hive, the side of this hive has just standard styrofoam. And looky here, we got ourselves a hole. So some bird, possibly a blue jay, probably a northern flicker, a woodpecker, pecked into that. So they know where the bees are, and they know how to peck into things. And so this is absolutely no protection against anything that wants to peck at it. This is pretty just jury-rigged, slapped together thing. I'm gonna put more insulation on the back of it. Now I go over here to my poly hive. This here bit is just a nuke that's all taped up with insulation. But if you go over to the poly hive, this is the poly hive. It's been pecked at before. Used to be a big hole right there, another hole right there. Anyway, down here by the entrance, again, I'm finding little bee parts. Hopefully it's just little birds pecking at the dead bees and pecking them apart. But if you look around here, you can see all these little holes, little peck marks. And over here too. I don't know what's doing that. If it's just the beginning of a northern flicker or woodpecker giving a peck and then giving up, or if it's little chickadees and juncos pecking at it. And there's a couple holes here that I had to fill in. But that's a thing they definitely don't tell you about when they're selling you poly hives. I've seen these holes in my wooden hives as well, little tiny holes that go almost straight into the hives. So it's not the first time the hives in this area have been pecked at, but it's the first time I've had the poly hives get pecked at. And I think the birds just give things a peck, and then they go, oh well, hey look, this one's easier to get into because it's polystyrene, and off they go. So I've been filling in the holes. I've got this owl up top, hoping that might do something, though it's not doing anything for the other hive that has styrofoam around it. And I've been spraying with lavender essence just to make it smell very strongly of lavender. Apparently woodpeckers don't like the smell of lavender, but you couldn't do something like this on a commercial basis if you had lots of hives. You can't be going around spraying lavender on everything all the time, every day. And so right now I'm using suet to keep them away. I got a bee flying in my face. I've used suet to distract the bees from, or distract the woodpeckers from these hives. That's about the only thing I'd say right now that I don't like. Everything else isn't too bad. We'll see how this colony gets through this winter. It's definitely a healthier colony than my last one that I tried out last winter. But what I'd really like to do is test one out with a brand new young queen. That's where the bees are coming from. And there you go, it's below zero, below freezing, and they still fly. So anyway, that's a thing. I'll just have to see how that plays out. Because if you're in an area with woodpeckers and they're pecking at this, like this, I'm not putting cages around it, and I'm not putting a tarp around it. I'm not doing all this foolishness to protect. That's half the reason I got this is so I don't have to do anything in the winter. But if I have to do more just to protect them from woodpeckers, then I don't know. I might not do that. So. Yeah. They're in there. Oh yeah, maybe this is where they're coming from. See? I don't know if you can see them. There it is, right there on the edge. I'm not coming through on the camera. There it is, right there. That's the only entrance they have. The whole thing is completely sealed in. On top, bottom, side, everywhere. Except for this little spot. Somehow that piece of insulation broke off. But the whole thing is covered with insulation. So they're well insulated. Here's how well they'll do. Anyway, so that's that. Not sure what to think.